I grew up in Rossland, and I've always been into like writing, and so I got into filmmaking by just filming my friends skateboarding and snowboarding, and I started making little skateboard videos and snowboard videos, and then it got to a point where I was selling them in the local skateboard shops. And because of my skateboard videos that we're selling, I was hired to film and document the Hicks on Sticks tour in 1999, and I was right out of high school. It was an interesting kind of 2-week adventure across Western Canada, and it wasn't really what I thought it was going to be. I mean, there was absolutely no money. You know, we were sleeping on curbs and like sleeping in hay bales, and it was really tough. And I was 18, and I was really happy when I got home. And you know, I was originally hired to do a documentary of the tour, but the tour was such a financial failure that they had no more money. Like, I didn't even get paid on the tour. I was supposed to get paid. It was rough.
What I love about Hicks on Sticks is that it promoted skateboarding in a positive light, but not in a pansy Little League light. It showed skateboarding for what it really was. So if you fast forward to today, due to events and tours and people promoting skateboarding in a positive light like Hicks did, they had a full setup where it's like, okay, here's the skateboard park, the public can get that. Show people what skateboarding is so they can get it, because before that, to them, skateboarding is some kids in the back alley wrecking their benches. There's been a ridiculous 180-degree progression in the acceptance of skate parks and how people perceive them now, and how much easier it is to get a skate park in your community. It's the community reaching out and saying, hey, come on in, we're going to give you a place in the community. And I think that's really important, to reach out and make these kids feel like somebody cares about them and somebody's listening to them. I think they're going to be empowered, and I think they're maybe going to feel different in the future to go ahead and do more great things in the world.
It was a 2-week-long tour, 8 stops across Western Canada, and the whole idea was to bring a portable skateboard park to these small towns and really show kids like something they hadn't seen before, because back in 1999 there was no skateboard parks in these towns. There were skateboard parks in Canada, but not in these little towns, these rural areas. And the whole idea was to bring the show and bring musicians and have put on these demos and do it in the summer and over a period of 2 weeks. And the biggest flaw in the whole setup was the marketing. They had financial sponsor that dropped out right before the tour started. And they were like, we got to do this tour anyway. And so they took out personal loans. Ian took money that he was investing, like grants that was for his business PM, and blew it on the tour. And it was like, they thought thousands of people would show up. And some tours, some demos, 5-10 people showed up. And then it got better at certain spots. But I mean, it was a big gamble.
It was pure. It was like something we didn't even know we were doing, really. It was like we're riding this piece of wood around with wheels, you know?
Every other day you get your board taken away. Huge fines. It was just like not allowed, like you're actually doing something constructive. What was it? It was like, outside they get it, like drugs.
Get your skateboarding, get out of here. Don't be downtown with it.
Get drunk, your board. What are you gonna do? Like, skateboarding was a positive thing for us to do.
Didn't really even know what the skate park was. I guess I didn't really realize what was even possible. It was too far away, right? It was in your magazines. It was in the magazines, it was in the skate videos.
Now it's an accepted thing, and there's parks all over the place, but like back then there's nothing going on, small towns.
Why shouldn't we have a park? You almost appreciate the little things that much more, You had to make the best of what you had, what you could find. And if there was a killer ledge and trail, you would make the pilgrimage to trail.
Funnest, craziest times of my life were all spent with my friends skateboarding.
I was 21 and he was 13 when we started hanging out. Like, at that time, there's a pretty big age gap.
Straight up the wall. Luckily we were so small back then, but it was places like that they were magic. It was places like those that just like epitomize little towns, because there's these little secret nooks that people go through links, to create these magical little zones. Almost have to try harder to make those things happen because there's less opportunity.
The main character is Ian Commission, who who started this company, PM Skateboards, in in Kimberley, where he's from, and then he moved to Roslyn and sponsored Josh Even and got into making skateboards, moved to Vancouver, and it's about how he built up his business, and he kind of took some of these local skateboarders in the area and brought them with him and helped all collaborating together and getting out there to contests and getting exposure and really kind of being a dad to them, and how this tour really kind of stressed all these friendships. And you could look at this film as a cautionary tale, right? To a certain way. I mean, somebody said it was they want to show it to their business class or whatever, because this is not the way to do business, is shown in this film, and so that's it's definitely a cautionary tale. The whole goal right now is with the film is to get exposure and get it out there. I mean, we screened the film in Brazil, which was such that's what it's all about. It's not about winning awards. It's not about reviews. It's about people across the world seeing this and seeing, learning about who Josh Even was, learning about what Hicks on Sticks, the tour was, and just having this this documentation. This is a great time capsule. It's a great Canadian story, and so I'm really stoked and excited that people around the world will have a chance to see it, and that's what it's all about.